content creators only hurt the game.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you're
I don't
right.
think
I
they
definitely do.
overall.
Content creators, at least with what they do, is they are by far neutral, right? But it is such a shame that a game that had, at least on Steam, 74,473 players at its peak playing at the same time, and and like the most popular content we have is not Russian Badger or Soviet Womble stuff, but guide number 539 about the most easy thing you can do is honestly a travesty.
Okay,
Well, maybe he should
hey.
leave his wife and kids.
The new hoverboards are for people who can't sparrow fly to begin with. Counterpoint,
Okay.
I don't want to learn how to sparrow fly.
And why would
Yeah.
you keep
As
sparrow
someone
flying?
who spent days learning how to sparrow fly and have taught other people to sparrow fly, the hoverboards are a good addition to the game. It makes it more accessible and more fun. Sparrow flying is only going to be used for speedrunning anyways, so who gives a shit?
Collecting and shooting guns in this game are more fun than the bird crafting aspect.
What do you mean I was gonna like this? I hate this.
Well, you get the speed doing it.
I think both should go hand in hand. A build crafting should be a very important thing you want to do. Not something that's important for like everyday game, but like something that helps you out, something that's cool for like late game, end game, end game, and weapons should help you assist with build crafting. You know, it should go hand in hand.
It is way more satisfying, even if it's like a crafted weapon or a quest. There's something just so satisfying about getting a weapon in Destiny compared to like, I made a build. But I think that's just kind of how looters are in general. Like, I'm way excited to go get 5 red borders than to make a build.
What's
The
that
only
big one?
way to save the franchise long term is to make Destiny 3.
We're gonna have the same pitfalls within 2
Crimson!
years.
Your stick is revoked, Cyborg. Shut up. I promised you with it too.
I don't know. More than anything, Bungie just needs to the leadership needs to change. It'll be
100%.
Destiny 3.
100%.
Also, unless they trans everyone's loot over, it's gonna be sunsetting all over again. If you have to start D3 with nothing, Gaul comes back and destroys everyone's vaults for the second time.
Okay, so anyways, I feel like if they made Destiny 3, it would be like sunsetting, except worse. It would be like Luke Smith coming back, but on steroids.
Okay, can I have my stick back now?
Yeah, yeah.
We removed
Just
perks
super
from every
insert
weapon.
before. Just super insert a picture
Year
of
one,
Luke
but worse.
Smith, like Luke Smith in a
Damn it,
boxing ring.
Cyborg, you don't
I
have the
want that.
stick! God
Now,
damn
Forcer, for the thing about everyone's vault getting destroyed, you need to do the Mandalorian clip of the fucking ship getting blown up from orbit.
I actually made a meme for that years ago. Like on
Oh.
April Fools of Witch Queen. I actually think I made that as a video. Okay, but here's what I'm gonna say. I do think Destiny 3 would be good for onboarding new players, and it would be good for that long term. The problem is we'd end up in most of the same situations we are now. Let's say Destiny 3 launches just like Destiny 2 or D1. I don't know why I said it like that, but it's no content, we have to wait a year for fixes. We go to the seasonal episode model, core playlist once again get neglected outside of the first year. And Destiny 3 also just it's a reason that exists because most innovation, think about how much D2 has changed over time, how many new weapon archetypes, new weapon types, elements, abilities, scorn, some enemy races. Imagine in 2017 if someone told you that in about 5 years you're going to be fighting Hive with Ghost.
I'd be pretty sad, because in 5 years I'd still be fighting Hive.
In my opinion, I really feel like Destiny 3 was Beyond Light just because of all the shit that happened during Beyond Light.
I mean,
That's the closest we got to be the.
I just don't want them to
Destiny
take all our exotics away again. I'm still waiting for the Ram to return, and
It worries me returning content for D3 as well. I mentioned this, the Ink during Grenader Jake's reaction video, but imagine during year 5 of Destiny 3, we're watching the Season of the Seasons trailer, and we see the plunder weapons come back.
I just gained gray hair right there if we did.
Warlocks are the worst class by a mile.
No.
This was definitely made by a hunter. Despite Season 8 being bad, the Vex incursion activity... the Vex incursion on the moon actually felt real, and I'm sad that it's gone. I really miss that.
Agreed.
It was just the Vex like the Vex Strike Force from Neomuna, it was pretty much just on the moon. It just didn't have the cool rewards. Like, I think it would be nice if we actually had it back on the moon, so it's like you can have it happen on both destinations.
Yeah, it really made like it. That was pretty much like the cherry on the moon's location. Like it just made it perfect. I feel, and the lack of it is noticeable.
Seraph and Splicer were great seasons for their gameplay, but their stories were atrocious.
I'm not a big fan of
okay.
Seraph's story. Seraph's story, I was not a big fan of it, but
I mean,
Maybe
I'm
for
not the biggest fan of it.
Spec-
I don't think its seasons that bad.
no, they
Like,
just said the
Vanity.
story. They were just saying the story was bad. That's all the take was. Very bad for.
They said atrocious though. Keyword
I
atrocious,
think whatever
like
Rasputin
really
said,
bad.
You don't need a war mind, you have each other.
You
I
don't
think
need
I
a
cried.
war mind when
Yeah,
you have
that-
each other.
Yeah, that's
I think
like,
I literally cried.
yeah. Seraph's story.
Seraph's story wasn't the best, but it's like there was some good moments for it. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
atrocious. I wouldn't even say bad.
I kind
But
of
They tried
just
their
had a
absolute
disappointing
hardest to
ending.
write
You're
Aramis
saying-
in, dog.
You're saying Rasputin going, y'all don't need a war mind. You have the power of friendship.
Yeah, it's one line in the same season where we had Archie and Clovis Blade threatening the blow of the moon.
So you're
Alright.
excusing mid because a cute little robot dog. You know what?
Yeah.
Fair
Yes.
enough.
I don't know. I don't like seasonal storytelling compared to like an actual campaign.
I mean, I think the way it's told isn't the greatest, but the actual writing themselves is way better. Like Chosen, Splicer. Like I think I
that's what
still
I mean.
like outside of Witch Queen, things like Chosen and Splicer are the best writing in Destiny, like just in the franchise period.
yes, no, 100%. Splicer's probably my personal favorite.
So when we were doing part 2, I said how Deepstone Crypt was better than Vow. I want to know, is that a hot take or y'all agree with me on that one?
I totally agree with that.
I agree.
Like,
I
Like-
totally agree.
Like,
maybe-
let's generally think about Vow real quick. It is carried by Rogue. Like, that's the truth.
yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of that raid
No.
is pretty just
Like-
mad, especially the
and-
first half.
And Val,
But-
the thing is, like third encounter is alright. Fourth encounter, Rolk's encounter specifically,
I love
It's
second
just-
encounter.
and people just are like, oh my god, the Rolk boss fight, brother in Christ, you have to do like all this mechanics to even get to that cool boss fight. You're just like falling asleep halfway through, and then all of a sudden boss CPS, you're like, oh my god.
I feel like second encounter is underrated, though. I'm gonna murder you guys.
I don't like second encounter that much because it's like I've played Morgith, I've played Golgoroth. It kind of just feels like that. Like, okay, I'm gonna defend myself on this take, considering this is my own one. But it's like, let's generally just think about Val. Do you like first encounter, the payload,
No.
more than like
No.
any of Deepstone's encounters? Like, Deepstone, in my opinion, doesn't have a bad encounter. Like, there's definitely better ones, but it's like every encounter in that raid's good. While Val, it's like the payload and the opening aren't good. Third encounter is questionable. Second encounter is just a remake of previous ones. It's like that raid is carried by Rogue, and if it wasn't for that encounter, it'd probably be one of the worst raids in D2. I'll say that.
I have my own hot take actually. Eater of Worlds is the best raid they've ever released.
Counterpoint
Funny.
Scourge.
Next question. Rasputin's death shouldn't have been in a season. I say fair, but at the same time, it's also the case where it's like if he had its death in an expansion, it probably would have been written so much worse. Like, imagine if it happened during Lightfall. And it's also the case where it's like seasons have so much important stories going on now that it's like seasons pretty much all just like the $20 expansions, and they're definitely way better than most expansions in terms of narrative. Like, especially
Yeah.
Seraph and Haunted and Splicer and all them.
Going back to the Lightfall thing, Forcer, could you imagine if they killed Rasputin in Lightfall, and then Nimbus, that annoying fucker, just like went in there and was like, "Oh, ha, 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 it's so funny, fist bump,
Cat war bummer.
cat bummer." Like, I would have just uninstalled.
The sun is going to explode in 8 billion years.
We gotta do what the Vex did with their freaking sun and just keep it on life support.
Destiny going from a bot service D1 the D2 Warmind before Forsaken to a live service was a mistake. I think both models had their flaws and they both had their good and their bad. I definitely say this new model whether we like it or not, this is also just how modern games are, and they kind of had to adapt to this whether they wanted to or not. I definitely do say it could be improved though.
With how the current state of gaming is, we just need to return.
Destiny players will get tired of the roguelike mode after it is used more. Honestly, unsure if this is a hot take or not. I think we will get tired or not, but that also just depends on innovation. Like, COD Zombies has survived for years on open door, turn on power, get gun and perks, pack a punch. It has survived on that for years with some variations and stuff here and there. Like, I think it's an easy mode that as long as they find ways to keep it innovative, like, it shouldn't be that hard. I definitely think roguelikes are probably one of the most replayable genres in game.
Randomness is what makes it very replayable. If they
can make one that sunsets your weapons as you do it randomly.
In my opinion, like the thing with like good roguelites, right? It's just that what the hell is it? The good ones are like the ones that like just hand you a crowbar and just like take this and break the balance of the game. I dare you. So
Yes,
I don't know.
definitely.
So I don't know. I want to see like seriously. I want to see like one for Destiny. I know it'll crash the game, right? But like all stasis weapons now fire in a shotgun pattern.
Yes, they need to add buffs and perks that you get by leveling up that are on par or better than exotics.
Also, I feel like they need to add like I guess like some. Also, I feel like there should be like some permanent upgrades like in most roguelites.
Like I'm thinking of Risk of Rain, RoboQuest, Hades. What's the other roguelike we've played? Like all of them.
Gunfire Reborn.
Gunfire Reborn, yeah.
I don't know much about Gunfire since I played it the least, but all of those have crazy game-changing things for your weapons or abilities.
Binding of Isaac.
I was about to bring up Binding of Isaac, and then you have Binding of Isaac. Where if you get bad luck, you might as well restart it.
If Bungie actually patched Riven cheese, most of the community wouldn't be able to do the encounter the way it was intended.
Not a hot take, honestly. It's just true.
The Reckoning was fun, actually. Fuse, you and me both went for the Reckoner title. You want to both say your thoughts on this one?
With some work and elbow grease and major reworks, yes. However, at its current state, how do I put this in pussy? Lightning bolt, thunder noises. I want you gone.
Final shape should be delayed further. It's like, on one hand, the DLC would be better either way, but it's also the case where it's like, if Final Shape launches in June and it's good, then I'm fine with it as is. But if it does launch in June and it's not that great, then yeah, I definitely agree with it. But it's like, a delay forward would be good either way.
But then,
I kind of disagree though that it should be delayed more, because I feel like if it is delayed more, the Bungie executives are just gonna have them all sit there and do nothing, or give them 0 hours of work and they're not gonna do anything, and then just give us the same thing. Because remember, they don't want to over deliver.
What's
it? That's the executive.
That's it. Hang on. That's not the point I'm gonna go with, but that is fair, where it's like, if Final Shape did get delayed again, we probably would see like a decline in their revenue, and they would probably see like more layoffs or some shit like that because of it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's like they would have to fill that gap somehow.
And no amount of Into the Light is gonna fix that.
Bungie releasing the 33rd anniversary?
And that Into the Light is good at all, even.